Joining me from the US for the last time this year is Sean Spicer, Donald Trump's first White House Chief of Staff. Sean Spicer, good to see you again. Donald Trump got elected, among other things, on a promise to fight back against anti-Israel and anti-Jewish extremists who are making life hell for Jewish students at universities over your way. Now, can you tell me, what did he do to fight this Jew hatred that our own Prime Minister could learn from? Because I don't think he's done much at all. And boy, there's anger here about that.
Yeah, first, Andrew, my condolences to so many of the families there in Australia that are dealing with this during this difficult time. It's a sad state of the world when people can't go out and practice their faith. Obviously, the first day of Hanukkah there. And it looked like a beautiful opportunity for people to celebrate their faith down at one of those iconic beaches that you all have. So my condolences to you. I've had this discussion with a lot of folks in the past 24 hours. And you can't legislate away hate. You can't just pass a law and say, hate, you can't hate, it's against the law. It comes from real leadership and calling it out when you see it. And that's why, frankly, I was disappointed. I'm glad you kind of noted it. But your Prime Minister's comments, I don't think probably give a ton of solace to folks. He has allowed this to fester, as have a lot of people here on the left, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar, so many of the people that have made a name for themselves. And I frankly, I've told people I'm Catholic, but 2 streets away from me is a Jewish temple. And it's remarkable to me, it's sad to me, that every time I go by and there's a service, there's at least 1, if not 2 sheriff officers in their vehicles parked outside the front. The idea that in America, that we have to feel like it's a public safety concern to practice your faith. This is what we were so proud of as a country, that you could come here and not have to worry about what faith you wanted to practice. The freedom of expression, the freedom of assembly are enshrined in our Constitution. And so getting back to your question, Andrew, I think it's leadership. What I see so often from the left is these guys just ignore it. They realize that a critical part of their base is anti-Semitic, Hamas-loving. And until leaders are willing to stand up and say something and do something, then all of the posturing won't matter. And I was a little taken back by the first reaction that I at least heard from your Prime Minister was for more gun control.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's a deflection, Sean. It really is from some of the real issues that are bothering people, which include the kind of people we import and the lack of pushback to any extremism, people just going in their shells or whatever. And I was impressed by Donald Trump, for instance, threatening universities that didn't take anti-Semitism seriously with the withdrawal of their funding. I mean, they can do what they like, but not on our dime if they don't speak up. I think this is something that we need to learn from.
But not just learn from, but what I don't understand is this. If you allow somebody, as the case was with Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump, if you vilify an individual or a movement and say that person is Hitler or Nazi or must be eradicated or a threat to democracy, what do you think is going to happen? If you tell people that Israel is a scourge that must be removed from the earth, that Jews are bad, what do you think is going to happen? And these folks on the left that are so quick to preach about, whataboutism and Donald Trump this and that, they are the ones causing this. And no one on the left wants to stand up when we had riots in the wake of the death of George Floyd, and people were looting and vandalizing and destroying property and hurting individuals. It was justified in the name of some kind of greater good. The problem is that these guys are afraid to offend anyone that's part of the fabric of this new coalition they call their base. And that's the biggest problem right here. And the idea that we're watching this here in Providence, Rhode Island, where I'm just south of Brown University right now. And the idea that this school was so open to anti-Semitism and then wonders why something happens. I don't have any idea what the connection to the shooter is at this point. But when you inspire people to tell people that conservatives are bad, that supporters of the MAGA movement are bad, when you say that anti-Semitism can run rampant, what do you think is going to happen on campus? And this is something that they all sit around clutching their pearls going, how did it happen here? How did it happen here? It's because you inspired it.
There needs to be a similar deep reckoning here, Sean. Everything you say applies to what we've been facing right here. Sean, can I finish? This is our last talk before I go on holidays. I'm very grateful to you for all your effort on the show this year. You've added tremendous value. Now, I keep reading stories in the media about Donald Trump's terrible polls, but then I see that his numbers are in fact better than many of those before him, many presidents before him at this time of their cycle, better than Bush Jr., better than Barack Obama. Can you wrap up by telling us how Trump's first year back has gone?
Well, look, it's no secret. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate your kind words. It's been an honor to be part of your show. And I love, as I've said to you off air many times, it's always amazing how many people in America love watching Andrew Bolt and Sky News Australia. It's amazing the reach that you guys have. So thank you for allowing me to be part of it. But look, I think that when you go out as a politician and promise things to whatever constituency, whether it's the right, the left, the American people writ large, and you deliver on them, that's great. And I look back at what the president's done, the big, beautiful bill, the border is secure. He has instituted a level playing field for our farmers, ranchers, manufacturers through tariffs. This is exactly what he said he was going to do. You may not like it. Some people are opposed to him. But the bottom line is I love the fact that he went out, campaigned on a set of principles and promises to the American people, and then delivered on them. And the only thing that he probably wishes or regrets is that he's done so much so soon. So he's got to figure out some new things. But I'm very proud of what he's done already.
Sean Spicer, may I wish you a great Christmas. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next year.
Merry Christmas to you and to all of your viewers, and I look forward to seeing you back here in 2026.